Hello, and everyone, and welcome back to Ben and Danielle Reviews. And I am back today with Jamie and Andrew, and we are going to be talking about Jamie's top 50 games of all time. We did the first half of the list on Tuesday, and there were quite a bit of new games and on that section. And we had a few games that dropped. We had a couple really high games that fell down to the lower half. But I'm looking forward to hearing what the top half of your top 50 and see what games got to where. I wrote down a list here of what I think your top 10 is going to be, but I think I'm going to get 5 right, at least 6 correct, and maybe
probably
3 in the proper spots. But we'll see how far I get with that. Andrew, do you have any predictions, bold things? Any comments you need to make about? No.
We'll see how it goes. I have no predictions.
Yeah, so Role Player dropped out of the top 10 this year. I'm not surprised by that, but yeah, let's get going. Let's get started. I'm gonna grab my pen out of here and you get started.
So my number 25 is World Wonders. This is a polyomino game where you're going to be building this area here. You're going to each polyomino shape costs a different amount, and you have 7 coins you can spend on a turn. And then you can also, if you want to spend all of your money, you can buy these World Wonders. It doesn't matter if you have 0 or you have 6. So there's this, when do you buy these wonders? And then they give you different amounts of points. Usually they're like 1 point, but sometimes they'll give you like a different resource or something. And it's just been interesting one to play, and I like it.
So I need to try this game. I don't know if it's a game that I'll like, but I think it's one that I need to try. Is it like a city building game, or is it like a Civ game? What kind of game would you say it is?
I don't know what I would say.
Okay, that's fair. I've not heard anything bad about it. It's just one I haven't tried.
Yeah, it's a fun polyomino game.
Okay, a polyominoes. Okay.
Yep.
So here's my request, Jamie. When I figure there will be more polyomino games on this list. When we hit your number 1 polyomino game, could we make an announcement so that we know your definitive polyomino game? Or maybe this is it. I don't know.
I think it is.
Okay. Because Isle of Cats dropped off your list, didn't it? Okay.
Here.
And
I think this is the definitive one.
Okay.
And New York Zoo didn't make it?
Nope.
In your top.
But I like that one.
Yeah, it's a fun one. That one might be my highest rated one, but also I have a couple others that are around that spot. But yeah, this is one I need to try.
Gotcha. So this is the definitive.
Okay.
I'm a little sad to hear that Isle of Cats dropped, but also I've never been the hugest fan of that game, so I guess I can't be that sad about it.
So I can say that Isle of Cats fell out of my top 50 as well this year. It's in my top 100, but it's not in my top 50. But also, it's one of those games that I like to play it at shorter player counts, and you don't really get the full drafting experience, I feel, from a lower player counts, but just the length of it is.
Yeah, it can go on long if you have more players.
Especially if you get those expansion and you dare play with 6 players.
Yep.
Y'all did that one time. That was a experience.
Twice might be the correct number.
Sorry about that. Yeah, I feel like I got to play 5 games in the time that y'all finished that one. But Yeah, that's something. Okay. World Wonders.
Okay. My next one the original was 24, and this is the sequel to it. And last time I put Wingspan. This is Wormspan.
Nice.
This is a engine building game where you're going to be building these caves and then also building these dragons, and then they do different things, and you're going to be able to place your little explorer person on one of the different rows and go down the line as far as the dragons you have, and if they have the little explorer symbol, you can do the abilities. There's also this guild track that you can go on that has different things, and there's just many different ways to score points and build your engines, and it's just cool.
Awesome. Yeah, I didn't know that you picked this one up. I knew that you liked it better than Wingspan, so I knew that you'd probably pick it up at some point, but I didn't know you picked it up right away.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's one I considered for writing down in your top 10, but I did not put that in your top 10. And but yeah, so do you feel like without Wormspan, the Wingspan would probably drop lower for you?
Probably. I don't think I've played it since we played it last time.
Cool. So. Yeah. And thoughts on Finspan?
I'm down to try it. I don't really know how it plays too much yet, but
yeah, I heard it's the lightest of the three.
Oh, really?
And it's the quickest to play.
Nice.
That's what I've heard, but I don't know if it's necessary to have all three of them. But I mean, I'm down to play it, but I don't feel like I need to be the one to buy it.
I'll probably end up buying it at some point if it.
Okay, sure. I might make you or Sharita buy it. Cool. All right.
The next one is another new one, and it's a small card game called Nar.
Oh yes.
In this one, you're going to be placing these different colored cards here, and if you put like a purple on a purple, you get to activate all the purple things, and they're going to give you like recruitments, which are the helmets or the rings, and they allow you to, the recruitments you can use to buy the cards, or you can use them to get any card in this row. The rings are going to let you do these different rows here, or columns. So if you use one, you get the first row. If you use all three, you get to do all three rows. So it's just a fun game with all these different strategies, and yeah.
This is such a cool game. Yeah. I don't think I've ever seen a game like this small have so many different strategies in it. And I think that's really cool. Like the Viking theme is cool enough, but I don't think it necessarily needs that theme. It stands on its own, but it's a really good game, and yeah, I'm glad it made your list. I had a feeling it might make your list at the lower part, but I'm glad it's this high.
Yeah.
And Andrew,
it's a fun card game.
Yeah, I've played it once. I had a good time with it, and I am like, yeah, I don't know if it would make my top 50, but like I could definitely see it making someone's top 50 for sure.
Yeah, it'll be on my list, and I'm sure it'll be on Sharita's list, and possibly in the satchel at some point.
It's a little too big for the satchel.
You think so?
I think so. Like it's not that small of a box.
It's small-ish, smaller.
I'd have to replace like a Not Alone or yeah, which
that seems like a
better. But
it sounds like a no-brainer.
That's a decision for future me to make.
Okay, cool. Right, good choice.
Number 22 is another new one, and it is a puzzle game that is called Harmonies. And this one, you're going to be drafting from, I think it's 5 different depot things that have these different tiles on it, and you're going to be able to, or they do different things, like the mountains want to be adjacent to each other, and you can stack them. The water wants to be in a stream, and then you can also build trees. The yellow ones, if you get 2 or more in a thing, they score 5 points. And then you also have these cards here that have different pictures on them, and you're trying to make those different things, and you can put these cubes on them, and then once you score it, and it's just been a cool puzzle game that's fun.
Yes. This is also another really good game that came out last year.
Mm-hmm.
When I did my top 10 games of 2024, I completely forgot about this game. And it should definitely have been in my top 10 of 2024, but I totally forgot about it. But I don't remember where it ranked in my top 100, but yeah, it's a really good game, and it's one that we've played a lot this year.
Yeah.
And do you play it solo?
I've tried it once solo, and it was fun.
Okay, cool. Have you gotten to try Harmonies yet?
It hasn't really been on my, well, it's been on my radar, but in a sense of like, I don't think I would like it that much. I just don't think it's my kind of game. I'm not a huge fan of Cascadia either, and it seems like there's a decent amount of overlap between those two. So,
Yep. But I feel like there's space in some people's lists for both games.
Probably, yeah.
Probably not, maybe not necessarily mine, but some people. All right.
Well, speaking of Cascadia, that's my number 21.
Oh no. Okay. I thought about putting this in your
number
top 10.
14 last year.
Yeah.
And in
That's
this one, you're
20.
going to be. What were you going to say?
What number is this?
Number 21.
21.
That was
Okay,
14
cool.
last year. In this game, you're going to be. You have these 5 different cards here, and you're going to be drafting these tiles and then these chips to build to make these different scoring conditions. Like the bears want to be in like pairs and stuff. The elk have different things. Like I know one is you want to try to like make a circle around them. The salmon are usually trying to make like a stream of things. The hawks work in like line of sight type of things. And it's just, I think it's fun.
well, I kind of just showed my, views on Cascadia. But here's my question for you, Jamie, is if someone were going to the game store and they had enough money for both, let's forget the money part. Would you recommend they buy Harmonies, Cascadia, or both?
I'd probably buy both, but if you had to choose just one, it depends if you're like newer gamers or not. If you're a newer, I'd probably say Cascadia.
Okay. Cool. I was just intrigued because like they seem similar to me, but I haven't even played Harmonies, so I don't really know.
They're pretty similar games in a lot of ways, I think. But yeah, the fact that they're right next to each other on this list makes me think that they're pretty interchangeable.
Mm-hmm.
But,
well, I like these puzzly style games, so usually I own a lot of them.
Yeah. I was kind of curious when I was filling out my guesses for your list. I was curious which one you'd have higher on the list, and it seemed like they were pretty much in the same spot. So that answered that question.
Yep.
All right, cool.
My number 20 was my number 34 last year, and it is an abstract strategy game called Devon. In Devon, you're going to be first you take turns placing all these color chip things, and then you're going to be picking up a stack and you move it depending on the number of chips in the stack, and then you're trying to basically stay next to these these red discs, and if any of them are never somehow adjacent to it, they're all gonna just go away. And then you want to have your chips on top of the stack, and then at the end, whoever has the highest stack wins. and it's one of my favorite in the gift series, and yeah.
As I stuff my face. Yeah, good pick.
I only played it once and I lost, so I hate that game. Just kidding. I don't hate it. It was pretty clever. I did lose.
Mm-hmm.
I do quite enjoy it. It did not make my top 100 this year. It fell off, but I do still enjoy this game. It's still one of my better abstract games. There's a couple games that I rank a little higher in terms of abstracts, but yeah, this is a really fun one for sure. That's really easy to get people into.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's one of those abstracts though where there is strategy to it, but I don't feel like it's where a newer player has like zero shot of winning,
Mm-hmm.
as with some abstract games where if you're new to it, you're just not gonna win.
Yeah, that's true.
But maybe I'm wrong with that. But right, nice, good pick. Number 20.
Yeah.
All right.
My number 19 was number 12 last year, and it is Earth. In Earth, you're going to be building this tableau of a 4x4 grid, and depending on which color you choose is what you're going to activate all the different of that color in your tableau. And then some are going to score based on having different types of cards next to it. Some are going to score I lost my train of thought.
All right. It's a fun game.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually had this in your top 10 this year.
Oh, really?
So, yeah. But no, I knew it'd be pretty high up for you. Have you been playing it this year quite a bit, or is it haven't played as much?
I think I've played it a few times. I haven't played it in a few months, but it's one I would like to play again soon.
Okay. Because I know we played it a few months ago. I think. Yeah. It's a fun game. I feel like I played it once or twice on BGA. I don't know if I played it with you or someone else. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Have you gotten to play Earth yet? Oh, you haven't? Okay.
I've not.
It's Race for the Galaxy, except better.
Boo.
And a better theme, and better artwork, and better everything.
I can't believe you're calling the artwork for Race for the Galaxy bad.
I'm still calling it bad.
I probably would like Earth. I just need to get around to trying it sometime.
Yep. So this is the inside up game of choice for you. All right, perfect.
My number 18 was number 20 last time, and it is Fantastic Factories. And this is another engine building game where you're going to be, at the beginning, you're going to choose either one of these cards to add to your hand, or adding or doing one of the abilities on the top. And then you're going to roll the dice, and depending where you place the dice, you're going to get resources or be able to draw cards. And then you're also trying to build these cards, and some of them are going to work based on if you place like a pair there, they do something. Some they want a straight, and then you get like some points and maybe something else. There's ones that are just points, and it's a fun kind of like racy engine building game, and I like it.
Okay. Have you played this, Andrew? Okay. Yeah. I'm not a fan of it myself, but I know you and Sharita both really like this game, and I know the expansions like add a lot to the game.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I haven't gotten to play with the expansions yet, but yeah.
I don't know if you didn't like the game, you probably wouldn't like it with the expansions either.
Okay. I just felt like with this game, like I've said before, I felt like it was that weird middle place. Like, with my resource management games, I like to have games where like resources are plentiful and you can kind of do whatever you want, or games that resources are so tight that you're like scraping for things.
Mm-hmm.
This was kind of like a weird middle ground for me where I was able to do some of the things I wanted, but not all of them. But also, I wasn't feeling like I was maximizing anything, but I wasn't really struggling for anything, and I don't know. It was just that weird middle ground for me,
Mm-hmm.
and that just I don't know. But yeah, it's high on your list, and
Yeah.
that's good and cool, awesome. I didn't think it would stay in your top 20, but that's good.
Mm-hmm. My number 17 is a new one to the list, and it is Can't Stop. This is a press your luck dice game where you're on your turn, you're going to roll the 4 dice and then combine them into 2 pairs. So like you could do like 7 and 6, and then you're going to place the white chips there, and then you roll again, and you can, if you get 6s and 7s, you can keep going, and then you'll have up to 3 of them on there, and then once you have that, you can decide to stop or keep going, and then if you ever don't roll the 3 numbers that you have, you bust and you lose it all. So at any time you can stop. Otherwise, you keep going and you keep pressing your luck, and you're either going to make it to the top or you're going to bust. And yeah,
It's such a great classic game.
mm-hmm.
So I feel like I have this game, and I think I might have played it once or twice. I think a really hard thing for me to get past is that in undergrad, I did my honors project on this game and the probability in it,
Mm-hmm.
which meant that, I spent a lot of time with like the theory of this game, and now like I can't see it as an actual game. It's just like,
Oh,
oh,
really? Huh?
I did a project on this game.
Yep.
Woo.
Yeah. I feel like this is one of those few games where I could play with you, Jamie, and feel confident in myself being able to win.
Mm-hmm.
Most of the games that you and I play, I feel like you pretty much just wreck me in them. But this is one of those ones where I feel like I'm like my win percentage in this is okay.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's cool. I didn't expect it to be this high, debuting on the list, but that's cool.
Well, it's one I've played a lot this year too. So
yeah, awesome, perfect.
My next one, number 16, was number 13, and it is a 2-player card game called Mandala. And in Mandala, you're going to be trying to complete there's 2 different things that you're going to be fighting against your opponent for, and then whenever it breaks, once all 6 colors are in the thing, depending on which colors you have on your side, if you have more, then you get to pick first. And then you place them in the slots of 1 to 6. And then if you put it in like the 3 slot, like the red one, you're going to score every red card that you have in your scoring pile is going to be worth 3. If you have green in the 5, you're going to score 5 points for every green card. And it's just a really interesting head-to-head card game.
So have we played Flowers?
I tried it once against myself on BGA just to kind of like see what it was like.
Okay. Is it any similar to that, or not really?
I think there are some similarities, but it's pretty different too.
Okay, because BGEG says that it re-implements Mandala, and I wasn't a fan of Flowers, so it makes me wonder if I would like Mandala.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I don't know. Just a question I had. I might just have to try it to find out myself.
Mm-hmm.
All right, cool.
My number 15 was my number 8 last time, and it is the Castles of Burgundy. In the Castles of Burgundy, you're going to be rolling the dice, and then depending on what your dice are, you're going to pick the different you're going to pick one of the chips off those things unless you have a worker, which allows you to change the dice up or down one. And you can buy buildings, you can buy ships, you can buy animals, and they do different things. The animals are going to score based on how many of the same animal you have there. So if you have like pigs here, it's 3. If you add another one, it's going to score that 3 plus another, how many ever that one is. So another 3, that'd be 6. The ships are going to allow you to move up on the first player track and collect one of these depot things that you could trade in for points and money. And it's just a fun Euro style game.
The sheep strategy.
Yep.
Yeah, no, this is a really good game. It's one that I think the more I play it, the more I enjoy it. But it's also it's a game I feel like the more I play it, the worse I get at it.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I'm just not good at like winning this game. But
You just need more sheep.
I just need more sheep, yes. Less water tiles and more sheep. And less castles of Burgundy.
Yeah.
All right.
Played it. I think I've only played it once or twice, but it's definitely like a good solid Euro. I think there's other Euros I prefer, but it's definitely a solid one.
All right.
My number 14 is a new to me game. It is The Veil of Eternity. In this one, you're going to be putting these cards out depending on the number of players, and then you're going to be drafting them. I believe it's a snake style draft. So like I'll draft 1. If it's a 2-player game, then the other player will draft 2, and then I'll draft the last one. And then you can either put the card into your hand or you can sell it for whatever the price says on this thing here. And it's a very combo-y style game. And one of the things is, depending on the round, is how many cards you can play that turn. So on round 1, you can only have 1 card in your tableau, but round 8, you can have up to 8 cards in your tableau. And there's just some really cool combos I've seen in this game, and it's fun.
This is top 20 for you?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, this is a very, very much like a trading card game feel to it.
Mm-hmm.
And it does have some really cool combos in it. It's a game I really have enjoyed my plays of, and it's definitely one that you can get really good at.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Oh yeah. But yeah, I think it's in my top 100. I don't think it's my top 50. But yeah, this is a good one for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And and then the more plays of it, you definitely get to see more of the really cool cards in the game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's one of my favorite parts. Is just I've seen some like really cool combos and.
Yeah, you can really break the game with this one if you get the right combo.
Yep.
And it's fun breaking combos when Eli's playing.
Stop adding games to my need to play list, Jamie.
This is a good one, and yeah, this is the kind of game that I would recommend for someone that wants to get into like a trading card game, but doesn't want to get into the money pit that is a trading card game.
Mm-hmm.
Just buy Veil of Eternity.
That's my thing I like these style games, but like trading card games, I'm usually staying away from.
Yep. Well, Veil of Eternity is there for you.
Yep.
And it's on VGA.
Mm-hmm.
So Andrew doesn't have any excuse anymore. All right. Cool. Good pick, Jamie.
Thank you. My number 13 is another new to me game, and it is called Village Rails. In this one, it's a tableau style game where you're going to be building these cards. There's going to be like 7 of them, I think there is, and then there's also these scoring cards, and you're going to be picking one of them. The first one's free, and then You have to place a coin on each one until the one you want, and then they have these different things on them. Like this one scores points. This one is you're going to be making these basically tracks, and once it ends, you're going to be scoring that whole line of track. This one is you want as many of them as you can get in there. If you get like 4 of them, you get a lot of points out of it. And then if you have a scoring card on it, it scores even more points depending on it. And it's just a really interesting puzzly card game.
Looking at this box, I would think that this is just like this one of those really involved 18xx games. Just looking at that cover. So that immediately just turns me off from this, but it's the one I would definitely try if it's in your top 20. So I know that those aren't the kind of games that you go for.
Oh no.
But I do like the whole mechanic of being able to take what you want, but having to pay a resource per each card that you skip, kind of like Acropolis does and Century does, and
Yep.
And so, yeah, I like that mechanic. So, I mean, I'm down to give it a try. But yeah, it's never one that's been on my radar, and I didn't know that you liked this one.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I just heard about it one time, and I thought I'd try it, and it's been really fun.
Okay. You play it at 2 players?
Yep.
Okay. Cool.
My number 12 was 27 last year, but that was the first edition. I got the second edition of this game, and it went up a lot. It's Summoner Wars. So in this one, you're each going to pick a summoner, and then on your turn, you're going to go through the different phases. You can summon cards next to these portals, which are... You're going to have these common monsters and champion monsters that each cost a certain amount of magic. And you're going to be moving and then attacking and trying to take out your other your opponent's summoner. And it's just a fun tactical dice rolling attacking game that I like.
You really like these games where you have these like plug and play characters and stuff that you can just grab a character and play it. Yeah, I figured this game would go up for you. I did not have it in your top 10, but I thought it would be close. And I guess I was right. Cool.
It could definitely make it if I play it even more.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, what you were mentioning, Veil of Eternity feeling like a customizable card game. I played this once like when I was in high school, so solid length of time ago. But I vaguely remember having that feel like this feels like a collectible game. Would you say that about Summoner Wars?
I'd say it has that, yeah, because you can do like deck building if you want to. And then there's all these different packs you can get.
Cool.
My number 11 is a new to me game. I think it's the last new game, and it's for Shuffle. And this one you have a hand of cards, and you're going to be playing these cards. You can play them on these trees, and you can play them on the top, bottom, left, or right. And there's a lot of different things that score in different ways, and you can also score a lot of points by playing a lot of trees, because some of the trees will do different things off of each other. There's one that's like a set collection tree, and if you get like all 7 of them, you score like 40 some points, and it's just a fun game to see how you can kind of combo things together in that game, and it's fun.
Is this number 11 for you?
I played it a lot this year.
I know. Wow. Okay.
I've seen this being played a few times, and it seems like people have a good time with it. So again, on the list of things I need to try at some point.
Yep.
I mean, I think it's a good game. I just think it's a boring game, personally. I just think it. I just don't think. I just don't have fun with it. Like, I get the idea of the multi-use cards, and each one has 5 different ways you can play it, and such. But I just think it's just not fun for me. But yeah, no, it's a good game though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm surprised it's all the way at number 11
Mm-hmm.
outside of your top 10. Okay.
My number 10. So we're
Do
in
we
the
want a
top
drum
10
roll?
now. What?
Drum roll.
It was the same as last year, and it's Grand Austria Hotel. And in Grand Austria Hotel, you're going to be drafting these dice to try to fulfill these orders of these customers. And once you fulfill them, you can place them in your hotel. And then if you get you finish like a red column, you get money. If you finish the yellow ones, you go up on this Emperor track. And if you finish the blue ones, you get points. You're also trying to score based on what these goals are. And it's just a really interesting Euro game.
I haven't looked back at my list from last year recently, but I have a feeling Grand Austria would go up for me because I've enjoyed it every time I've played it. So pretty solid.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Yeah. Last year I had this as my number 1 game, so I can't say anything bad about it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's a good one for sure. And yeah, I had it at number 7 for you. So, but
Oh, really?
yeah, but yeah, I'm gonna be wrong on this list, but that's okay.
My number 9 was 5 last time, and it's one of the first games when I actually got into the hobby. It's one of the first games I played on Board Game Arena, and it's Seasons. In Seasons, you're going to first start off with a draft. You each draft 9 cards, and then you're going to be placing them in 3 different things: the year 3, the year 2, and then the year 1. Each are going to have 3 cards, and then you're going to roll these dice, and then each draft one of those dice, and you're going to be trying to play your cards and then kind of do the different combos and stuff on them. And there's some really interesting combos in this game. And then once you go around this track, it's going to be year 2, and you're going to get more cards, and you're trying to score a lot of points. The points are right in the top left, and it's just been a really interesting game.
I still have to play this. I own it. I just haven't played it.
Mm-hmm.
Will this be a good game night game? Take that as a no.
I don't know.
Okay, I'll take that as
I
a
don't
no.
know how it'd be with 4 players, and most of them are new.
Okay.
It's a really good 2-player game.
Okay, so it might just be a BGA game then.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That's where I first found it too.
Okay, sounds good. I'll make a plan to try it on there at some point. Yeah, I didn't think this would stay in there. Cool.
Yep. It used to, when I first did my list, but that was like when I was doing top 5 and top 10s a long time ago. It was my number 1 for a few years.
Cool. Perfect.
My number 8 was my number 11 last year, and it is a big box here, Class. In Class, you're going to be, it's basically like air hockey. You're going to be hitting this yellow marble around, trying to get it in your opponent's hole, and it has all these magnets. You can also score by hitting the biscuit things, the white tokens, into your opponent's striker, or you can also score if your opponent lands in the circle, their pawn, and whoever gets 6 points first wins, and it's just a really fun dexterity type game.
Cool. Yeah, I didn't. This was at your number 11 last year. I did not put in your top 10 this year, but I guess I probably should have.
Hmm.
Have you played Hero Hockey?
I've seen it being played, but I've never tried it.
Okay, it's just a cheaper version of Clask.
Hmm.
I usually keep that at the shop. But yeah, Clask is really fun.
Yep.
I don't usually. It never makes my top 100 list, but it's one that I
Mhm.
definitely quite enjoy when it does get played.
Hmm.
All
There's
right,
just something satisfying about dexterity games.
Yep.
maybe we'll eventually get Jamie on the cooperative dexterity games. One of these days, we can hope.
My number 7 I don't have here because it's too big. It was my number 22 last time, and it is Crokinole.
Mhm.
I recently got a board, and I've been playing it a lot, and it's just a really fun dexterity game where you're trying to flick a disc into the middle ring. If you get it in there, it's 20 points. If you get it in where the pegs are, it's 15, and then 10, 5, and then the gutter. And then once your opponent has one on the board, you have to go for that, and you're trying to hit them into the gutter and keep yours on. And it's just a really fun dexterity game.
I purposely kept myself from making any comparisons to Crokinole when you mentioned Class because I was like, maybe it will show up later. But
Mhm.
yeah.
Yes. Yeah. I didn't think you'd have both in your top 10. That's why I didn't have both in your top 10. Yeah, I thought this would be top 5 for you, but it was number 6.
7. It could
7.
definitely go
Okay.
up for sure.
Yeah. You have a really nice board too now.
Yeah, I got a Tracy board.
Nice. Very nice. Yeah, it's a really good game.
Hmm.
It's really fun.
My number 6 was my number 6 last year, and it is the 4th game in a series. It is Azul Queen's Garden. In this game, you have these tiles, and you're going to be drawing these colored tiles and putting them on it, and then you're going to be trying to build this garden of different colors, different shapes. And if you get 6 of the same color, different shapes, 6 of the same shape, different color, you get a 6-point bonus for that. And it's just really an interesting puzzly type game that's really good, and it's my favorite in the Azul series.
I just need to go back and play Classic Azul again because I think I've played it, but not very much. And
Hmm.
it's a good game.
Yeah, I like them all.
And this is the heaviest of the 4, right?
Hmm.
Okay. And you seem like you consolidated all of them into one pick this time
Yep.
instead of having 3 different ones or 2 different ones.
I think I
Or
had
3.
2 last time.
Okay.
This
Yeah.
one and Centra are my favorite,
Okay. Gotcha.
but I like them all.
Cool. Awesome. Sweet.
Let me ask this question. So
Mhm.
I thought about getting. I think I mentioned in the previous video I got my sister and brother-in-law Splendor. Azul was on my list of things to consider getting them. Which game in the Azul series would you recommend, or is the best game for new players? Because my guess would be Azul. My guess would be the classic, just because it's a little bit more
Yeah, I'd
straightforward.
agree.
But I haven't played the others, so
I think it would be the original. Yeah, it's the easiest and the most approachable one of the bunch.
okay.
Awesome.
Okay. My number 5 was my number 9 last year, and it is Unmatched. In Unmatched, there's a lot of characters now, and you're going to each pick a character, and then you're going to be fighting with your deck of cards. You're trying to get your opponent down to 0 health, and each character plays very differently. And you can maneuver where you can move and you get to draw a card. You can attack where you can play an attack card and your opponent plays a defense card. And it's just really cool to see all the different characters and the different things they come up with. And it's just been one that I've really enjoyed.
Very nice.
I would say that I don't like this game, but that might just be because I've only played against Ben and I've never won because Ben's pretty good at this game. So maybe one day I'll win Unmatched and be like, it's the best game ever. But
Yes. But you like Tosh Kalar is a arena battling sort of game that you do enjoy, but that's not as good. So you should
disagree.
like Unmatched. Okay, cool. Yeah, there's just too many characters to keep up with for this game, which is
there's
good, but also
so many.
Ooh,
yeah.
That's a question. What are like some of your favorite characters to play as?
Well, one of them is in this box, and it's Yanenga. She's a really fun, like, range type fighter. Sun Wukong is really good because he has all these like clones and stuff. Medusa's fun. She's another range type fighter.
T-Rex is the best fighter.
Mm-hmm.
Just saying. Yeah. So yeah, this is a game where there's like a competitive scene for it. Is that something that you'd ever be interested in doing, like competitive Unmatched stuff, or? Is it just
I'd
fun
maybe
as, like,
try it. I don't know if I'd be very good at it, but I'd try it.
You just have to dedicate your life to it.
Yeah.
It's like any other trading card game, or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
You just gotta practice it and be good at it, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I know that like the people that play this game, they're crazy about this game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a fun game,
Very
but
fun.
it's just too much to keep up with. If you're wanting to buy it, if you're a completionist, that is.
Mm-hmm. That's usually my problem with these games is I am a completionist, so I want everything, and it gets kind of expensive.
Especially with all these IPs, and then they only have the license for so long, and so you have to buy them when they first come out, so you don't they don't go out of print, and then there's ones that are like out of print that are coming back in print, but they're reprinting it with another character, so you have to buy that pack even if you have the other one, just because there's a new character. It's a lot of stuff going on.
Yep.
All right. Yeah, it's a fun game though. Not taking away from the game
is.
itself.
My number 4 is the highest Euro game on my list, and it is Carpe Diem. In Carpe Diem, you're going to be moving your person either left or right, and then taking one of those tiles. You're trying to build these villas that have these chimneys that score points. The green ones, if you get both of them together, you get to pick basically a free tile. The gold ones will get you gold, which are wild resources, depending on the number of resources you have, +1. And then there's these cards off on the side that you put one of your discs on at the end of the round, and they have all these different scoring conditions, and you have to place it in between 2 of them. And it's just a really interesting Euro style game.
I have not played this one. It's Steffenfeld, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
You have 2 Felds in your top 10 still.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Yeah, I need to play this. Amazon, you can get a copy of this for like $16, $15,
Mhm.
something like that. And I've had it like in my wish list for like 3 years and haven't bought it.
Hmm.
But
So
yeah,
that makes me scared seeing a game that cheap because, like,
Well, I know. I think I've seen the first edition on sale,
yeah.
but you do not want that. You want this version
Okay, why is that?
because in the first edition, there's a lot of like production error. Like one of the things you do in this one, there's white tiles for the first 3 rounds and then black tiles. And in the first edition, it's green and then a slightly different version of green, so they're very hard to tell apart.
Okay.
And this is like the third edition. It took them like 3 editions to get to a decent quality.
I never say that Stefan Feld is known for his quality of games, so
Mhm.
or at least not its initial print run of it. That's a premium. Yeah, no, it seems like a good game. It seems like one that I would enjoy because I do enjoy Castles of Burgundy. It's just one like, yeah, but yeah,
So my understanding is Castles of Burgundy is kind of like a good first Feld game. Would you say that Carpe Diem is a little bit more down the Stefan Feld rabbit hole, or is
I'd
it
say it's a little
similar?
it's lighter and it's very quick at like 2 players. Like
Oh, really?
when I play it with my mom, we could probably get it done in usually like 45 minutes, an hour max.
Okay. So
oh
it's
wow.
lighter than
Okay.
Castles.
Yep.
Okay. I
Well,
did
I
not.
have Notre Dame, and I need to play that. That's the one that I want to play.
Hmm.
That's the Feld game that I've been wanting to play is Notre Dame.
Oh, I've never played that one.
But yeah, Castles of Burgundy's fun. This game seems good, ugly but good.
Hmm.
All right, number 4. So that's really high.
Yep.
Okay, and it's one that you play enough. Yeah.
Used to play it a lot. I haven't played it as much recently.
Cool.
My number 3 was my number 4 last year, and it's Dice Throne. In Dice Throne, you get a hand of cards, and you're going to be rolling Yahtzee style dice. You get up to 3 times, and then you can activate these different abilities based on what you roll, and then you can also play cards to either maybe change some of the dice or add more block to your attack, or when someone else is attacking you. There's instant effects. There's effects that will change your dice roll, and each character plays really differently, and it's just interesting to try all the characters.
I played it once. It was okay, but I don't feel like
It,
my experience with it was the best. So
mhm. I think it's definitely one of those ones that I know for me, it gets better the more you play it.
okay. And I will say my first experience, though, I was playing it like at a game night in Seattle, and there was a guy that showed up. Apparently, he was part of that company or good friends with the designer or something or other with that. He was involved with the company in some way, and he brought some characters to play, and he's like, "Oh, these are my personal copy of the games, and these are the ones that you're allowed to donate. That other people are allowed to use. That yeah." And he he kept the best characters for himself to play, and let the other play. Yeah, and let the other people use the demo characters, I guess. And it was a and I don't feel like the rules were explained very well to me, and I ended up winning, but also he decided that I didn't win because things or other. I don't know. It was a thing. I didn't enjoy the first play of it, so I never went back to it. But
yeah, that sounds like a horrible experience.
Yeah, so yeah, I didn't think this would be in your top 3 this year again, but yeah, so this is your favorite of those type of games?
It's between this and Unmatched, and I think they can swap depending.
Okay. I guess I always play Unmatched instead because that's the one I've had the good experiences with.
Mm-hmm.
But that can change.
Yep.
Cool.
My number 2 was the same as my number 2 last time, and that's the soul only game Final Girl. In Final Girl, you're gonna pick one of the different Final Girls, and they each play differently. And then you're gonna pick a scenario. You pick the villain, and then you pick the location. You can do it all in the same box, or you can mix and match, which is very like modular. It's one of the things I really like about it. And each box plays very differently, and you're gonna have this hand of cards, and then some of them allow you to like walk, some of them allow you to hit the villain, and then you're trying to rescue these victims, but also trying to find items, and then depending on the scenario, you'll have to do different things. And it's just a really fun game that I've played a lot, and yeah.
So there's a whole lot of content for this game, from my understanding.
Mm-hmm. And season
Okay.
3 is about to come out too.
Season 3. Did you back that?
I've never backed anything, no, but I'm definitely gonna get it when it comes out.
Okay. Awesome.
I think
Yeah.
if I played solo games more, I would try this because like the
Mhm.
theme is so fun, and like I've heard you've said so many good things about it. So
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it seems like a fun game. It just seems like it's not an easy one to get into.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe, am I wrong on that?
I think it's pretty easy to get into because you can just buy this core box and then any of the
Okay.
boxes here. And this, I think they're each like, I think I got them online for like $15 a piece.
Okay. Okay.
And then I would recommend this one first because it's the easiest, it's the most whatever. But then you can get whatever ones that I think you would like the best, like whatever theme or whatever. And many of them are based on different like horror movies or something.
Okay. Gotcha. Yeah, it's one. I have the core box and I have the like the Happy Trails or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
That one is Happy Camper, something like that. So I gotta try it. I just don't get around to solo games very much.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. And you're not a big horror fan, from my understanding, right? Like horror movie
I don't
fan?
hate them. I don't watch them all the time, but this
Okay.
one's more like campy and stuff too. So
Sure. Okay. Gotcha. Cool.
mm-hmm. I don't think this is any surprise. My number 1 was the same as last time, and it's Marvel Champions.
woo!
And in this game, you're going to pick a hero. There's over 50 at this point, and a villain to fight. And then you're going to either play one of the pre-constructed decks, which I really dislike, or you can build your decks. And there's so many different ways to build the deck. There's 4 different aspects. There's aggression, justice, protection, and leadership. And depending on which one you choose and which character, you can do so many different deck builds, and it's just really awesome.
My only problem with it is that I play it so infrequently that A, I can't justify getting a lot of expansions, and B, I also have to relearn it every time I play it.
Mm-hmm.
But I can see this being a game that if you're playing it a lot and you don't have those kind of restrictions there, like
Yep.
I can see it being a number 1 game.
Mm-hmm.
So
Oh yeah, if you didn't play it very much, then you'd always have to relearn it. But I know it now, basically, because I played it so much.
yeah.
This
I
just
think
seems like a. What? Oh, yeah, go ahead.
the other thing I was gonna again, talking about games that feel like collectible card games. This pretty much is. It's a living card game, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, it definitely feels like it. That's why one of the reasons I like it, because it's not collectible, but I'm trying to collect everything in it still, so it's still a lot of money, but I can do it whenever I want to, instead of just buying like random packs, hoping I get what I want.
I once had an aspiration to be a Netrunner player, and then Netrunner died. And I know that there's like online ways to get back into it, but it's still like a 2-player game, and there's not a whole bunch of community for it. So I've sort of let that dream die. But I will say that playing Marvel Champions is the closest I've got to that Netrunner feeling from when I did like play a little bit. So it's very solid.
Yeah, this just seems like a trading card game for people without friends.
Well, you can play it cooperative. I've never tried it cooperative, but
Okay. Yeah. So, is this a game where they kind of keep everything in print, or is it something that like you have to buy the packs as they come out because they might go out of print?
They do usually a good job of keeping everything in print. I haven't had too many problems, but there are a few heroes that are out of print.
Okay.
I've heard they might come back in print, but they've also been out of print for a long time, so I don't know what's happening. Yeah. But that's only like 2 or 3 heroes out of like 50.
Yeah. I considered getting, I think is Doctor Strange one of the ones that's out of print?
Yep.
Yeah, because I considered getting that for my dad for Christmas, and then it was, well, out of print. Or maybe it wasn't Doctor Strange, but it was someone I was like, oh, I should get that one. And I was like, oh, great.
Mm-hmm.
But
that is one of the ones.
It sounds like it sounds like that's the exception, not the rule.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's good to know.
But I have to look into see what characters are available, because if there's a character that I really like, I might consider getting into it more. But also the fact, you got to stop talking about this game, like at game group and stuff, because Sharita keeps hearing about it and she keeps bugging me to want to play it, and it's like, no, we're not gonna play this. Stop asking me. Play good games.
So it is a good I could see it being best solo. I have enjoyed playing it 2-player. I play it with my dad. But again, as I hinted at, when I don't play it for a while, I forget how to play it. Like, it would be a pretty complicated teach, and like the first game is gonna take a while because like there's a lot of little finicky rules. But I imagine once those are under your belt, then you're smooth sailing.
Yeah. It's definitely best at 1 or 2 players. I've heard like when people play at 3 or 4, it goes very long, especially if it was new to people.
Is this a game that you like got the rules down on the first play, or was it one that you got had to learn?
It's one I had to learn. When I first played it, it was like a 6, and then because I was checking the rules all the time and all that, and now it's a 10 out of 10.
Okay.
I wouldn't say I have the rules down perfect because there are so many like keywords and stuff, but
sure,
I'm able to play pretty good at it now.
Okay, I just mean that like, do you get like rules wrong with it or often enough? Or is that
I don't
just
think
pretty
so?
easy?
Not anymore.
Okay, cool. Because I feel like I would, if I were to try and play this with someone who's never played it before, we would just get a ton of rules wrong, and that would just be disastrous.
It took me a while to actually note that some ally abilities injure the ally when you use them. That was my dad and I beat the last villain in the main box, and we're like, we did it, and then we're like, oh, we totally played allies wrong and played it way too easy. Well, okay.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. So, what makes this game so much better than Marvel United then?
My problem with Marvel United is not that it's not a bad game or a good game. It's the whole Kickstarter of it all. Like having, like I would want to collect everything, and there's so many like Kickstarter exclusives and stuff.
Okay. But like
I
the game
would say that they're at pretty opposite ends of the weight spectrum. Not opposite ends, because it's not like Marvel Champions is like a heavy game, but it's like it's medium heavy, I'd say. Like medium. I'd say it's medium, whereas I'd say Marvel United is pretty light.
I mean, I've taught Marvel United too, and I've had a lot of people tell me this is a really heavy game. It's like, oh, okay, well, maybe I taught it wrong.
I think
Yeah.
Marvel United would be a game that I would really like if I played it more and all that. It's just I haven't gotten it yet, and
Sure. But it's not one you'd want to get just a core box for. It's a everything kind of game.
I've almost bought in it before. I've almost bought in it this year. I would just get like a few sets of it or something, and then just kind of try it solo and see what I
Okay.
think of it.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, I like Marvel United. I haven't gotten into Marvel Champions, but that seems just like another money pit because I do have so much Marvel United content
Mhm.
that more than I could ever go through.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
Oh yeah, if you're a collector, Marvel Champions is a money pit. I'm still collecting it. I've probably spent hundreds of dollars on it, but that's throughout the last year too.
But as long as it's your number one, it's okay.
Mm-hmm.
Marvel United isn't my number one game. It's just a game that I enjoy.
Mm-hmm.
That used to be in my top 10. Thank you, Kickstarter. Yeah. Good list.
Thank you.
I did not do too well. I got 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7. I got 8 games. I got 2 in the correct spot though.
The
What
only
games did you
prediction
have?
I had. Oh, sorry.
What's up?
What games did you have in it?
What was Andrew gonna say? First
Oh,
off.
I was just saying that my only prediction was that the number one would still be Marvel Champions. That was the
Yep.
only thing that I was going to predict, but I didn't, no spoilers.
Right. Yeah, so I had, for number 10, I had Dice Throne, which that ended up being number 3. I put Earth at number 9.
Mm-hmm.
I put Queen's Garden at number 8. Grand Austria Hotel at number 7.
Yep.
Unmatched at 6. I put Castles of Burgundy at number 5. And that didn't even make your top 10. I had Crokinole all the way down to 4.
Mm-hmm.
Carpe Diem at 3. Final Girl at 2. And Marvel Champions.
Yep.
Okay. So I got 2 out of the 10. Not too bad. I thought Clask would hover around the number 13, 14 spot, maybe number 11 again. I didn't think it'd be top 10 again, especially with how much you've been playing Crokinole.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then Seasons. Like, I knew you really liked that game. I just didn't think it would be top 10 again. Anything of note from this year? Like, any, big drops?
I think the biggest drop was Role Player from number 7 to 29.
Okay. Yeah. It's like you had 2 top 20 games fall out. It's like, Cartographers and Valley of the Kings.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, those fell out.
Yeah, those just didn't make the cut this time.
Okay. I'm a little surprised Gizmos didn't make it.
Mm-hmm.
And Yinch. You put Devon over Yinch?
They change. I haven't played Yinch in a while. I think if I played it more again, it would probably go back in the top 50.
Yep. We talked about Isle of Cats. That one fell out. Arboretum fell out, thankfully.
Yep. I still really like it.
Okay. And then Space. That's one I thought that would be still in your top 50. But no, there's so many games we've played this year.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see if I can pull up the stat real quick. How many games that you and I played together? And see, game players. Jamie. 359 games.
Dang.
We played 200 different games together
Mhm.
this year, 224, but we played 359 different plays.
Nice.
And that's just the games that we played together, just you and I, both on
Mhm.
BGA or at the group. So yeah, so that makes sense that there's a quite a bit of movement on stuff.
Hmm.
Yeah, I think that's all I have for that.
Yep.
Here's a question. What do you anticipate moving up the most next year? Like what game in your list are you like, ooh, this one has potential to like move up a few spaces?
I think Crokinole could go higher, which it's already at number 7. Summoner Wars I could see going higher if I play it more. Same with like Veil of Eternity, stuff like that.
Okay, cool. Well, good list.
Yeah,
Mhm. Thank you.
Unmatched Adventures. You got some more of that coming out this year, and
Hmm.
lots of unmatched stuff. I think there's some Dice Throne stuff coming out.
Yeah. The X-Men stuff's coming out soon, which I'm gonna get. That looks awesome.
Yeah, we'll have to do a anticipated games list at some point soon-ish. Andrew, I don't know if you want to join in on that. You're welcome to. But that will be it for another time. Thank you, everyone that tuned in for this top 50. And stay tuned for mine and Sharita's top 50 games coming out in the coming weeks. Thank you, everyone, for watching, and have a great rest of your evening.
Bye.